Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon Frayne. We are back with another video. Today we're making an updated price prediction for Polkadot. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below, hit that subscribe button as well, smash the bell notification icon, and don't forget to grab your completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin, link below this video, down in the description. Grab it now, and let's talk about Polkadot. So Polkadot's price action over the past couple of months has been pretty underwhelming, but let's look at the bigger picture here and zoom all the way back to the previous cycle where we saw the price of Polkadot reaching highs around $55 here back in November of 2021. So Polkadot was one of the major tokens in the last cycle. You can see here how we made a huge move from July, that summer lows in 2021, all the way up to those $55 price mark. And again, zooming all the way back here to August of 2020, you had prices of DOT around the $2 to $3 mark. So huge gains in terms of that entire cycle, moving from August 2020 through November of 2021. You had the potential there to be making, 15 to 20, 25x, depending on what price you were getting in at. However, since those prices and those highs of $55, we've definitely seen a fall from grace for the price of Polkadot over the past number of years. We continue to move to the downside. Again, this is not abnormal when we compare it to the rest of the market and Bitcoin's price moving down throughout the course of 2022. But Polkadot continued to move to the downside, and again, we hit these levels here around $4.31 by the beginning of 2023. We did see many other tokens begin to make moves to the upside by the time we were moving into 2023. We had a short move to the upside here as we move through Q1 of 2023, but a further drawdown here all the way down to these levels around $3.60 by the time we got here to the middle of October 2023. Again, we saw a nice big move to the upside here throughout the course of Q4 and into Q1 of 2024. We saw a 230% move for the price of Polkadot's token in a very short space of time. However, again, short-lived as we pull back through the summer, and a big spike up again here on the confirmation of the US election result. However, this high here in November was not as high as the highs back in March in Q1 of 2024. So we put in a lower high here, and we've continued to move back to the downside. Again, we lost the 200-day simple moving average by the time we got to the beginning of February here, and we've continued downwards, and we're sitting just around the $4.07 mark where we are today. Now, interestingly, I've had this trend line drawn in for quite a while on the chart here. It was the trend line that acted as support all the way back in October of 2023. You can see it held again multiple times here, August of 2024, again in September, and in November before getting that bounce. And interestingly, we've come right back down to test these levels in the middle of March before getting a bit of a bounce, and we've held strong at this $3.56 support level. Can that level continue to hold? Well, hopefully it can, because it is very long-term support for the price of Polkadot, but we need to wait and see what happens with dominance, with Bitcoin and the rest of the market to see if Polkadot can start making moves back to the upside, reclaim the 200-day, and we'd really want to see it making higher highs compared to these two peaks over the course of the past year and a half, if we're really going to see it moving back towards new potential all-time highs. Let's take a look at the dominance chart as well for a moment, because realistically, DOT has been outperformed by a lot of other altcoins over the past couple of years. And what that paints the picture of is essentially Polkadot's dominance continuing to move to the downside over the past number of years as well. If we zoom out here onto the weekly, just so we can get the full picture a little bit better, you can see that the dominance level for Polkadot has continued to move and make lower highs all the way down here. We had Polkadot getting up to a dominance peak around 2.3% at the peak of the last cycle as well. By the time we got to November, well, technically, we actually got a higher dominance level for it in the first quarter or two of 2021 compared to when it actually peaked in price. We were still around a 2% dominance level, but looking and zooming forward all the way to today, we have its dominance at around 10% of what it was at those previous all-time dominance highs. You can see we're currently sitting at 0.24% dominance for Polkadot and its token here. And what that essentially means is we've seen Polkadot get significantly outperformed by Bitcoin and the rest of the market over the past couple of years. You can see we've really struggled to get back above that 200-day simple moving average. There's been brief periods for a month or two here at the end of 2023. And again, just for essentially, you could say 23rd November to 19th of December, a 3 to 4 week period again where we just about got above the 200-day, but we're really struggling to get sustained price action above that 200-day simple moving average when it comes to Polkadot's dominance percentage. And again, when we're making the price prediction, that dominance percentage is an important variable that I consider when we're thinking about where the price action of Polkadot can get to, especially when we're comparing it to its performance versus the rest of the market. Okay, we need to see Polkadot reclaiming that 200-day, moving significantly higher to really signal that it's starting to outperform other alts and gaining back market share in terms of overall crypto market cap. But we're just not seeing any strength there for Polkadot now for a couple of years. And that's what leads me to think Polkadot will still not be one of the big performers in this particular cycle. Okay, let me know below, guys. Are you bullish on Polkadot? I want to see your comments on what you think. Are you holding Polkadot in your portfolio? Are you staking Polkadot? What are you doing? Because one of the other fundamental issues for me with Polkadot is I'm not seeing adoption. I'm not seeing people using it. I'm not seeing decentralized protocols being built on top of their chain that people can actually use and interact with. And for me, there's other networks like Sui, like Solana, and a handful of others that are making much bigger moves in terms of adoption, DeFi protocols, and getting people actually using their chain. So that's what I have the biggest issue with when it comes to Polkadot, and that is reflected in my price prediction, as you will see in just a moment. But I want to see your comments. I want to hear the counter arguments. I want to hear what Polkadot is doing. If you're holding it, if you're tapped into the Polkadot ecosystem, drop a comment below this video. Okay, so without further ado, let's take a look at the price prediction scenario. And again, you guys know I like to break this down in terms of a bear case, base case, and a bull case scenario. We're going to look at all three scenarios, but in a bear case, again, I do have to plug in certain variables here, and that's why I do three different scenarios. It's very difficult to know where these variables are going to get to in terms of overall crypto market cap, in terms of the dominance of Polkadot itself, and in terms of the amount of tokens in circulation. We're putting in our best estimates here for each of those variables, but make sure to take them with a pinch of salt and feel free to tweak them yourself if you think it's going to be different. Okay, so in a bear case scenario, what we're saying is total crypto market cap could peak up around $5 trillion if Polkadot can get back up to a 0.5% dominance level, which would mean doubling its dominance from today because it's at 0.24%. That would give us a $24 billion market cap for Polkadot, and then dividing that market cap by 1.6 billion Polkadot tokens gives us a price target in a bear case, remember, for about $15.60 per token, which of course is not as high as the previous cycle. The other thing to remember with Polkadot is that we do have a lot more tokens in circulation today compared to the amount of tokens in circulation back in November of 2021 when it was putting in those previous all-time highs. Next up, we've got the base case scenario, and in the base case, what we're saying is total crypto market cap could peak up higher, closer to $7 trillion if Polkadot can get all the way back up to a 0.75% dominance level. That's going to give us a $60 billion market cap, and again, dividing it by 1.6 billion DOT tokens gives us a price target of $32.81. Again, still not back at those previous all-time highs, thanks to all of that token dilution we've seen over the course of the past 3 to 4 years. Finally, in the most bullish case scenario, what we're looking at and what we're thinking about is a total crypto market cap getting all the way up to around $9 trillion if Polkadot dominance can get all the way up back above 1% up to about 1.1% dominance. That's going to give us a $96 billion market cap, and dividing that by 1.6 billion DOT tokens is bringing us out to a price target around $61.87, which yes, technically would be a new all-time high for Polkadot if we jump back and look at the DOT chart and zoom out to what we did in the first place the last time. That is market cap, apologies. But let's look at the price action again. Last time in the last cycle, if we zoom out to the weekly chart, we had Polkadot getting up to $55 by the peak of the cycle. Getting up to $61 would be a new all-time high. But remember, it has to do so much extra work here to get back to those all-time highs because there's been so much token dilution over the past number of years. And if we look at the market cap, just look at this market cap here, 50 billion in market cap is where we got to in the last cycle. And what I'm proposing here is that even if we get all the way up to a $90 billion market cap, somewhere, if I move my big head here, if we get up to somewhere like a $90 billion market cap, we're still only getting up to just slightly above the previous individual token all-time highs. And again, that's because we had market cap getting to 50 billion last cycle, but because that was being divided by so much fewer tokens, we were able to see individual token prices getting much higher with a $50 billion market cap. Now we've had token dilution. We're going to see roughly the same prices, if not just a fraction higher, with a $90 billion market cap. So that's why it has to do so much work. That's why I'm not as bullish on Polkadot and the DOT ecosystem and the DOT token compared to some other protocols. But that's just my opinion, guys. Again, nothing in this video is financial advice. Make sure to do your own research from both a technical perspective and a fundamental analysis perspective. And again, if you're interested in learning more about decentralized finance, I'm helping with the team over at Crypto Labs Research, the Underdog Investor Group. We have so much content over here in terms of DeFi liquidity provision. If you want to take back control of your own personal financial situation, if you want to be generating income and cash flow when it comes to decentralized finance, use the link in the description below this video for the UIG. Come on over, check it out. There's actually a completely free course you can do for the UIG. You can join the membership if you want. There's tons of valuable insights and information, a great community of 1,500 people over here, everyone doing DeFi liquidity provision, generating cash flow, earning income in a passive fashion. Check it out for yourself. There's a link below the video. That's it for today, guys. Let me know what you think about Polkadot. Drop a comment in the video below to let me know as well. If you got any value at all out of today's video, make sure to smash the thumbs up button before you leave. I would be super grateful if you did that because it helps to spread the good word about the videos. Make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and you've also got a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin waiting for you in the description as well. Go ahead and grab it, and we'll catch you in the next one.